Have you ever thought about a single moment in time that's caught, perfectly between two different worlds, one foot planted firmly in a black and white past, and the other just starting to step into a vibrant technicolor future? Well, that moment, that specific month, was February 1956. So let's set the scene. We're in continental Europe, a place still trying to piece itself back together, haunted by the memories of war, but also teetering right on the brink of a brand new and pretty uncertain age. And this quote it nails it. February 1956 wasn't just another month on the calendar. Nope, it was a collision, a moment of really profound contradiction, where the old world and the new world just crashed right into each other. Now, for millions of people, the most immediate reality wasn't about politics or culture. It was the cold. I mean, Europe was quite literally frozen solid. And we're not just talking about a little cold snap here. The big freeze of 1956 was the single coldest February of the entire 20th century. Forget politics for a second, the weather itself became the biggest news story. It was all about pure survival. I mean, just look at the scale of this thing. You had a polar system sweep in from Siberia, locking the whole continent in its grip. The Rhine River, this vital artery for trade, froze completely solid. Spain, of all places, was hitting record lows. You even had snow on the sunny Mediterranean coast. Life, just for a moment, ground to a halt. But here's the thing. While the streets were frozen silent, behind closed doors, a political earthquake was starting to rumble. The ice was beginning to crack in the most unexpected place you could imagine, Moscow. So it all went down here at the 20th Party Congress. The new Soviet leader, Nikita Khrushchev, gets up and gives a speech in a closed session. And get this, it was never, ever meant for public ears. In it, he just launches this blistering attack on the legacy of Joseph Stalin himself. And even though it was secret, word started to leak out, sending absolute shockwaves through the entire communist world. This whole process eventually got a name: de-Stalinization. But this wasn't just some political buzzword. It was a massive attempt to reform the entire Soviet system from the inside out, to try and undo the damage of a dictator. And that secret speech in February 1956, well, that was the explosive starting gun. Which, of course, raises this huge, almost impossible question, right? How do you even begin to erase a dictator from a world that he completely defined? I mean, Stalin wasn't just a leader. His face was on every wall, his name in every textbook. Taking all that down was a monumental and, frankly, an incredibly dangerous job. But at the very same time, while Europe was grappling with this grim political reality, the public's imagination was being captured by something else entirely, something way more glamorous. I mean, this was the ultimate escapist fantasy. Grace Kelly, the biggest star in Hollywood, was literally getting ready to become a real-life princess. The fashion magazines were obsessed with her engagement wardrobe, which pretty much defined the elegant new look style. It was the perfect fairy tale to distract a whole continent from its problems. And that feeling of spectacle wasn't just in the gossip columns. It was the main event at the movie theater, too. But even here, a battle between the old way and the new way was being fought. So on one side, you had Hollywood fighting the new threat of television by going bigger, with these massive, colorful epics on giant screens. But on the other side, a rebellion was brewing. In France, a whole new generation of filmmakers was totally rejecting that polished look, grabbing handheld cameras to capture something raw, something real, the actual grit of life, not some escape from it. And you could see this tension playing out right on the movie marquee. In one theater, you've got Carousel, pure, colorful spectacles shot in this brand new, ultra-widescreen format. And then, maybe right next door, you've got Invasion of the Body Snatchers, a paranoid thriller that perfectly captured all the anxieties simmering just underneath that Cold War surface. Okay, so finally, let's listen to the soundtrack of this frozen month, because the music tells the exact same story: tradition versus revolution. The airwaves were just dominated by this smooth, traditional sound of crooners. I mean, they were the establishment. But look closer at the chart. You can see the beginnings of a rebellion, right? There's this homegrown skiffle craze starting to take hold. And then, those very first whispers of a new sound coming from America: rock and roll. So while Dean Martin's comforting ballad was sitting pretty at number one, you had Lonnie Donegan's frantic Rock Island line, capturing this restless new energy, especially with the youth. And across the Atlantic, the buzz around some singer named Elvis Presley was getting louder and louder, the unmistakable sound of a cultural tidal wave that was just about to crash. So when you put it all together, you really see the true picture of February 1956. It was a month defined by these incredible contrasts, right? A literal freeze happening at the same time as a political thaw. Cold War reality versus fairy tale escapism. Hollywood spectacle versus gritty realism. And the soothing sounds of the past meeting the disruptive rhythm of the future. And it all just leaves you with one last thought. Was this a world at its end, frozen in place? Or was this the exact moment the ice finally broke, revealing the complex, colorful, and chaotic world that was about to be born?